Welcome to the Scarguitar Show. I'm your host, Per Nilsson. The Scarguitar Show episodes are live streamed exclusively to my Patreon community, and the episode you're about to watch has been edited and truncated from its original version. If you want to watch the full unedited episodes, sign up to my Patreon on the live streams tier. You'll get immediate access to an archive of the Scarguitar Show episodes, lessons, music, backing tracks, transcriptions of solos as well as full songs, and my private Discord server where you can interact with me and my community of Patreon members. I started my Patreon in October 2024 to serve as the main hub for my solo career, a place where I gather my closest fans and friends and share my solo music, my knowledge and my time with them. As an independent artist, having this direct connection with and the support of my top fans has been nothing short of incredible. Please take a moment to check out my Patreon and consider signing up. Even as just a free member, it really helps. Alright, let's roll the episode. Enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I see. Okay, so some people are saying hi. By the way, we talked about Patreon at Guitar Summit, I guess it was.
Yes, that was.
And you were kind of just just on the fence, and I was just curious. Since that, did you start kind of right after, or did you start kind of recently? And how's it been going, man?
Pretty much.
How are you liking it?
Right after, I had one song. A demo song that I did for Strandberg that I also released as a solo single. So that was the only thing I had. So I just this is going to be my, the key to Patreon. Have something. And then I started and I had nothing. I hadn't prepared any content at all aside from that one. So first few weeks were really busy. I bet.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you've got a good thing going. I mean, you found your thing pretty quick. I mean, I've always thought you were such a good educator too. That I think this was like a natural progression for someone like you.
Yeah, I've been sort of ruminating on this for many years.
I know. I was just thinking. I posted my week 250 last week. And I was thinking, holy, just going to be 6 years since I started doing it. It was basically December 2019, right before COVID happened. I started doing this. And
all right.
I've just been pretty much every week for a year, and it's been great.
That's pretty relentless. So what kind of stuff do you do on your Patreon? You have your weekly homework?
Yeah. So I mean, it's at 250 weeks, it's kind of just over the years, it's turned into just literally what I'm working on. I still spend some days like 6 to 8 hours. I'll still play guitar all day. So I always have just what am I working on, and it's never anything too difficult. It's just usually like improvising or phrasing or trying to listen more, just vibrato and timing and stuff. And I always have something to say about that every week, because I'm always trying, maybe it's new harmony or trying to say the same thing but with like two different chords or something. And just kind of walking that path. And it's been, I don't know, 5, almost the beginning of 6 years. I'm gonna have to transform it soon, because I've had a busy couple months, and off air, Per, you and I have to talk about this, because I have some questions for you at some point. I'll call you later, maybe in the next couple of weeks, about the sideman gig. I might have something been offered. But anyway, the reason I'm saying that is just what's happening is starting to take over how I usually treat the homework thing. So I'm trying to think of new ways to invent it, and especially after, like I said, 5 years, it's got to transform. I think it needs to turn into something. So anyway, it's great, and I've seen a lot of the same people for the entire time. In fact, some of the people in the chat I can see, like Jay Smorey and Art and Jim. It's like cool. Yeah, I know these. Like I know these people. I see them in my Discord like every week talking about new gear and stuff.
That's awesome.
It's awesome, man. It's great, man.
Yeah. I wonder if we have any people doing both of our Patreons. Give us a comment.
Probably,
if you do.
yeah. I bet you. Some of these awesome supportive people. They do a whole bunch of guys. I think some of them do Andy Woods as well, and a few others.
I used to get kind of uncomfortable meeting fans and accepting being praised, but somehow I feel like it has gone both ways, because being in like the spotlight and doing shows, and my years playing with Meshuggah, and it's like people have been blowing my ego up and that kind of thing. So I've had that, but I have also, met a lot of people and had that feeling that like we are all the same, and regardless of what level we are or what we do, and there's a humbling thing of even just getting older. So it's like I'm feeling like I have my ego inflated and myself humbled by life. So it's like both those things have come together to give me the confidence to do this.
Yeah, I guess there is just a certain amount of just experience and time. Well, I've known you. I think I first started talking to you maybe like 2014, after you sent me a message after you checked out Atomic Mind. I remember.
Yeah, I think I sent you basically a love letter or something.
You did, yeah. And I was like, oh, this is a beautiful man.
Hello, this is awkward. I'm Swedish and I love you.
I was so young, man. I was so young. I was like 26 or something. I was like, holy shit. Yeah. But like we've all known you, and guitar players have known you for so long. This is like, I don't know, 15 years. I think a lot of people, they have such a connection. I maybe I'm saying this about myself too. Like, they have such a connection with your music that we can't even comprehend. So sometimes the fact that you can even offer a $5 connection is like, whatever you want to post, just give it to me. It could be something like that.
Yeah, sure. So nice. So he's asking, do you frequently use the bridge pickup? Your solos in Remarkably Human, Poison Touch, etc. has that unique throaty, twangy tone.
That's going back a ways. What's going on there? That was all single coil, either bridge or neck. I mean, I was flipping through that thing. I used to play like Ingve and just every 2 seconds play.
Yeah. Do you still do that?
So it could have been. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I look psychotic when I play guitar, man. I look like a fucking moron, dude.
It's so funny. My second guitar player in Scarguitar, Steven, he does that even when he's not plugged in. He can be, sitting in the dressing room, not plugged in, and he's like. And so if you're listening from outside of the room, you hear like the flick of the switch and not so much the playing.
Like, man, that guy's really rehearsing everything.
Yeah.
I think I used a lot of the bridge pickup. I was using a Fender guitar. A friend of mine let me use his some custom shop guitar. It had these really really super low output pickups. I don't know what they were, but they sounded really great just even on that. They weren't shrill or anything. I think there's a song on there. What's one? If you listen to, just for the person who asked if you're listening, there's a song called A Sick and Injured Brain, and there's a solo in the middle, and you can hear him on the split, whatever fucking number that would be, bridge and in between bridge and middle, whatever that was, number 4, number 2, whatever you call that. So sometimes in between too. That record has a bunch of different amps too, so everything sounds, there's some trickery happening. Right. But I found because everyone's ear has kind of like shifted a little bit to digital, I found that the sound of a digital, if I use like a back pickup, like a single coil on a digital sound versus an amp, kind of has a different interaction too. Sometimes the amp sounds a little bit fuller, a little bit thicker. So could be that too.
Yeah. I don't do it a lot because I get that you do it to have a change of tone, but sometimes I feel, and maybe that's because I do digital so much, but sometimes I feel like the change in tone is too big to go from neck to bridge. Right. It's like, it sounds too muffled. Totally,
yeah. Yeah, it can sound almost like sometimes like you're using a wah pedal too if the frequency change is too much. It's like you're opening a wah. I watched Scott Henderson talk about that and how he would always on his Strats roll his tone knobs back, just his back tone knob back, just in case he did go to the bridge, it wouldn't be so bridgy. Yeah. So he kind of like figured it. Anyway, yeah, you're right though. So yeah.
I mean, you have the song that something like.
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that. How do you think about that kind of thing? Where did that come from?
Well, okay. If I boil it down, I guess, okay, so I started playing guitar when I was about 14, and about a year in, I was really interested in recording. Like, I thought I was going to be either an engineer, producer, or something. So I really wanted to get into that world. So I bought this little, maybe you remember this. There was a little thing from Korg. It was called the PXR4. It was this little 4-track kind of mixer thing. And I started recording pretty early on, 15. And I was always making instrumental music. And I kind of got to the point where I was just using the same 7. If I was in the key of D, okay, here's these 7 chords. And I just got to a point where I was just, the melodies wasn't saying enough anymore with these 7 chords. So I had to start.
The drugs didn't work anymore.
That's right. That's right, dude. Couldn't have said it better myself. The drugs didn't work anymore. So that just became my obsession. I don't think of it as, I mean, I know enough theory to kind of like, get out of a wet paper bed, but I don't think of it like cinematic chord progressions or chromatic median. I don't think about that shit. It's just harmony, and obviously you have to have a key center, and it helps because if you want to play with people and communicate, that's fine. But when it's just me in that kind of like the throes of composition, where you're just like trying to get shit together, it's wide open, and it's just notes, and it's music, and it's whatever happens. And I think the second, even though I'm aware of like what key I'm in and all this stuff, I'm aware of that. I put that like get in the back. It's in the back. If it's a car, it's in the trunk. I'm in the driver's seat. And it's like that's all running, but I'm still thinking like anything goes. So I guess the theory is good for post-mortem, like post-analysis, or real-time analysis, like if you're good enough to do that, so to speak, kind of like figuring out what you're doing, but it still should be, this could be anything, or this can be anything. It depends on how. It's really just manipulate. It's like anything. It's like if you're a good painter, you're really just good. You're good with that brush, and you're good with the colors. It's the same thing. It's like you're just good at manipulating these notes. You just get into that, and
everyone awesome. Give a round of applause to Mr. Nick Johnston, the one and only.
Thank you, guys.
What a beautiful man. What a beautiful musician. I just love what you do, and
Introduce everybody. My cat is right here.
All right.